If you want bouncy waves like these, and you have fine hair like I do, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to get as far as tools go and products. If you also want a couple other tips on your everyday routine, hair color, and how to style, download my free guide in the description below. We're going to get started. So you're going to start off by sectioning your hair. I like to use these gator clips. You just need one clip, whichever works. And then you're also going to need a working hairspray. This is the one that I use, and a 1-inch curling iron. So when you get started, you're going to be spraying your hair first. This is our base. I already have heat protectant on my hair, but you need to make sure that you spray your hair first with a working spray so that it holds. So this is going to be a little bit different for you guys that normally curl from your ends up. We're going to start at the very top. So I use my index finger to open up the clamp, and then I start at the top. You see how the ends are sticking out there? I hold that on there for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then I pull it out and then I recurl it. The key with this is you want to pull out that curl and slide down the hair on the curling iron as you go, just like that. So for every section, you're going to be smoothing it out first with the curling iron. You're going to use your index finger and you're going to start curling at the top. You're going to hold that for 10 to 15 seconds, and then you're going to pull it out without burning yourself. Be very careful. And you see that twist at the top? That's what we want. You're going to spray every section that you drop after you curl it as well. And don't disturb those curls until the very end. You don't want to pull out those curls because with fine hair, it does get loose towards the end of the night. So the less you touch it, the better. So I'm working on the next section now, and we're going to do the exact same thing. This hair is a little bit more fine towards your face, so you want to be careful with it. So you see me pulling it out, and then we're just twisting it right back up. The other thing I need to mention to you guys too is I do not have the heat setting on this curling iron very hot at all. You need to be careful with your heat setting when you're doing curls like this because we hold it on there for so long. So you need to have it at a low setting. It needs to be 350 or 360 degrees at max. And one thing I did forget to mention is I am curling these away from my face on both directions. So I'm not alternating, I'm curling away from the face. And then you spray. And then we're going to be working on the other side of the head. So for every section, you're going to be spraying it as you drop it. And we're going to spray as well our whole entire section so that it's more malleable when you put the iron on it and it has something to grip onto. So I'm curling those hairs around my face. Again, like I said, be careful when you're curling around your face. You don't really want to hold it on there too long. Those are very fragile hairs. And sometimes it is shorter up in the front, so it's not going to take as long anyways. So as you can see, I dropped that tiny little curl. I'm moving on to my next section. And the other key thing is also you do not want to take sections that are bigger than the barrel of the curling iron that you're using. So these sections are about 1 inch to 1.5 inches wide as far as like the thickness of my hair goes. So you want to make sure that you're not taking too big of sections. So you see that little rope at the top that I made my hair? So the tinier at the top it is, the better it will be, I promise. It looks really weird when I brush it down like that, but when you brush it out, it's going to look really nice and wavy. So this type of technique creates more of like an elongated curl so that it turns into more of a wave instead of just like Shirley Temple curls. And I wanted to give you guys a couple of tips on how to get these to last all day. So before I filmed this video, I did wash my hair, but I did use a volumizing shampoo as well as a root lifting spray that adds grit to your hair. If you are going to be washing your hair before you curl it, make sure you use something that adds grit to your hair, whether that's volumizing shampoo, a texture spray, or a dry shampoo, anything like that. Your hair is really soft when it's fine, so the softer it is, the less likely it's going to hold a curl. So make sure if you are going to blow dry, you use all of those products, and I will link the ones below that I use as well. If you can avoid washing your hair, make sure you use some type of root lifting spray or dry shampoo in your hair as well. More dirty hair usually holds better. So let's talk about the type of curling iron that you guys are using. You need to have something that is no bigger than a 1-inch barrel, and you also need to have something that's ionic. So the one that I have is just a knockoff version. I think it was probably about $45, but I will link it. It's on Amazon. It's really not that expensive as far as pricing goes, and it has worked really well. I use this at weddings, and as far as the length of the barrel goes, you can use this on short hair to medium hair. They also do make a bigger one if you do have long hair, because obviously you're going to be curling a lot more hair if it's longer. The other thing is there is a handle on it, so that little metal piece on there, it does flip up if you need to set the curling iron down, and that way you don't burn things, like a dresser or wherever you're curling your hair at. So the type of products that you guys use really matters as well on getting your curls or your waves to stay. Like I said, a texturizing spray is going to be best to get this to stay. I will be putting it in my hair at the end of the video so that you can see when I am styling it. But what we are doing is we are using a working hairspray. So I'm spraying that on my hair before I curl as well as after. That working spray is mainly literally for what it sounds like. It's for when you're curling your hair. So it's not to help to set the curls primarily, but it does help with keeping it and making it stay. So if you're using something like Rain or like your grandma's hairspray, that is way too heavy and it's way too wet of a hairspray. Now, when you get to the back of the head, if you can see what I'm doing right there, basically I just took that whole entire section and I curled it in one direction. So you're gonna do the exact same thing, pull it out, and then recurl it at the top. And usually this part of your head is a little bit shorter because of layers. So make sure you don't pull it out too much and then the curl just ends up falling right out of the curling iron. So this is what it looks like with all of the curls done. Now we're gonna go in with our texture spray. I will link this one below so that you guys can see it on Amazon. So you're literally just gonna take that and you're gonna spray it all over your head. And this texture spray has kind of like dry shampoo in it, so it gets kind of cloudy, and just so you know, so you might have to air out the room a little bit afterwards, but spray it all over your head, start at the bottom, and then just lift up those curls and spray your roots. It's going to help you get lift at the roots as well as everywhere else. It pretty much fattens up the curl. So we're going to take our wide tooth comb and we're going to start combing it out. Really, there's no right or wrong way to do this. You're literally just going to start combing out your hair. You don't want to do it too much, just a couple of passes in each section. And don't forget the underneath part, obviously. But so I am just basically going off of how I like it and how big I want the waves to be. You can do it how much ever you want, but I like to comb it out pretty good. I wanted my hair to be pretty like thick and wavy. So when you get to the back, you're going to do the exact same thing. I couldn't see the back of my head, so I was kind of just guessing, but you guys can see it and it looks really good, and I was so happy with it. My hair felt really light and fluffy, and that was the look that we were going for. But we're not done. So make sure you do spray right after this with more texture spray so that it really sets those waves in. So this is the end result, guys. I actually think that having layers works really well for this. It gives the hair some lift, and especially using that texture spray, it just makes everything so much thicker. So if you have fine hair, make sure you get a texture spray. I will link the one I use below, as well as the certain curling iron that I used. You need to make sure you use the correct size. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Until then, I'll see you next time.